So after watching Dallas Buyers Club, I finally went and saw Nebraska. Nebraska, the film, not the state. I want to make that clear. And I know that's a bad joke, whatever. Um, but this movie has been a film that I've gotten a trailer for a few months now, and I thought it looked really funny from the trailers, and I also was really sold on the movie from the fact that it was being directed by Alexander Payne. Alexander Payne, for people who don't know who he is the guy who made Sideways, The Descendants, and About Schmidt. All three really good movies, in my opinion, and all really entertaining comedies slash dramas. Sideways is one of my favorite comedies of the last decade, and that movie alone reinvigorated Thomas Hayden Church's career for a while, and also brought into the limelight one of my favorite actors out there, Paul Giamatti, a guy who after that movie basically became a bigger name overnight, which was it's a goddamn shame that guy didn't even get an Oscar nomination or didn't even win Best Actor for that role because he was really good in that. But I was really looking forward to seeing another Alexander Payne movie. I like his kind of style of comedies. And in this movie, the trailers, you could tell was an Alexander Payne movie, just the way the style of comedy was from the trailers. And I like that style of comedy. And it looked like it's been getting nothing but a lot of praise, and it's being nominated for Best Picture, and a lot of acting nominations are going out for it. And honestly, out of the two movies I saw today, this was the better one, in my opinion. Like 10 times better than Dallas Buyers Club. While I love Dallas Buyers Club, this was 10 times better. I love this movie. I had a blast watching this thing. I laughed my ass off, and so did pretty much everybody in the theater I was with. Did this movie is one of Alexander Payne's best movies, in my opinion. Best movie probably since the Sideways. As much as I like The Descendants, I think that was a little bit too much of a drama. While this one is more of a comedy. The Descendants was a little too depressing for my taste, and this one it was more upbeat and kind of really funny. It has its dramatic moments, but it is very funny. This movie definitely deserves all the acting nominations it's getting. Bruce Dern, holy crap, is really fucking good in this movie. He deserves all the praise he's getting. Bruce Dern is... I kind of compared him to Clint Eastwood after I watched this film, and the fact that while he has some really funny moments and he's given a lot of great dialogue, and his delivery of the dialogue is great, and everything else, his best scenes, in my opinion, are scenes where he's not saying anything at all. There are some really subtle, quiet moments with his character that work so fucking well, and when you can tell, when an actor can express himself, and you can tell what the character's feeling, not even saying anything at all, that, in my opinion, is a great actor. Clint Eastwood is a good example of that. He doesn't have to say anything, and you know what he's thinking or what he's feeling, and it just from his facial expressions. The same with Bruce Dern. Bruce Dern is really good in this fucking movie, and honestly, this year the acting nomination I said this after I watched this movie. I've now officially also seen every film nominated for Best Actor. And every actor nominated for Best Actor, if that makes any sense. I know it's repeating myself, but every actor in the Best Actor category is all of them pulled off great performances. And I don't care who wins that freaking award. And I would love to see Bruce Dern pull off an upset. He is really great and really funny in this movie. I definitely give him nothing but praise for this. The one, as much as I love Bruce Dern, though, and I love him in this movie, my opinion, the best character in this whole fucking film, and I know I'm probably not the only one who's going to say this, is June Squibb. Am I saying her name right? As that plays the mom in this movie. She, or the wife, or Bruce Dern's wife, or and Will Forte's mom. She is fucking hysterical. She got the most laughs on. Her line delivery got the most laughs out of the whole theater. God, she's given some really great dialogue. Particularly the one scene that sticks out in my mind is when they're at the cemetery, seeing Bruce Dern's dead relatives in Nebraska, and they're going through from grave to grave, and she's making comments about each person like they stop at. Like, my favorite line is when they stop at Bruce Dern's mom, and she's talking about, she says, that was an ugly looking woman. It's like, out of nowhere, she goes, that was an ugly looking woman. And Will Forte looks at her like, what? She said, she had a man's face, not a woman's face. He said, what the hell? She said, so he asked her, it's like, well, what did she die from? She tells him she died from looking at herself in the mirror. And he goes, it's like, what? He said, I'm just kidding. She died from cancer. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just sitting there, I'm busted up laughing. And then she's talking about his sister who died in a car accident, but also was a whore. Just for no fucking reason. She makes all these really funny observations about these people that you don't need, or like tells you information about these people that you don't really need to know about, but it's fucking great. Like, the dialogue in this movie is just phenomenal, and she delivers the best lines in this movie. Will Forte is great too. I don't think he got enough praise. I think he's really funny, and his interactions with Bruce Dern are really good. They have great chemistry together. They're believable as father son, and they really work well off one another. I like the scene where they're in the bar, and Will Forte's asking if he always loved Bruce Dern, always loved his mom, and this dialogue between the two of them is really funny in that scene. Will Forte does a really good job, and Bob Odenkirk also, who's the other brother, or the other son, is really funny too. I always like Bob Odenkirk too. Like I said, the other things I don't think this movie should just solely get acting awards. In my opinion, this movie also deserves directing and writing. Like I said, the writing in this movie is just spot on hysterical. The dialogue is just witty, and just they let a joke linger, which is also nice, which you don't see much in comedies anymore. That's one of the things I like about Alexander Payne. He lets the joke linger for a while, and he doesn't just like keep going joke after joke after joke after joke. It's really, his style of comedy definitely works in my opinion. And it has, like I said, there's also dramatic moments in this film, and they work too. But this movie is more a comedy than a drama. That was one of the things, I liked this a lot better than I liked The Descendants. That was mainly because Descendants made me kind of depressed after I watched it. This movie makes me just like cheerful after I watched it because it was so funny. Like, I had a blast. I was so happy to see a great comedy like this. This is definitely one of the best comedies I've seen in a long time. One of the most well-written comedies, definitely. And I definitely think this should get best original screenplay. I don't think this was based off any original work, but yeah, I think this should win best original screenplay, hands down. This dialogue in this movie is fucking great. Definitely has some of the best lines in comedies in a comedy I've seen in a while. Also, the direction of this movie is great. Alexander Payne should get maybe an Oscar for. I mean, if it wasn't for Alfonso Cuarón and Gravity, I would say maybe Alexander Payne. Every director nominated this year really did a good job. So Alexander Payne has, just like Bruce Dern's acting, the subtle, quiet moments are what really work, and or what are some of the funniest parts of the movie. Like, my favorite part of this whole movie is the part where he just lets a shot linger of, it's just one shot of Bruce Dern, Will Forte, and Bruce Dern's brothers all sitting in a living room watching TV or watching a football game on TV. And it just sits there and lingers on those guys for like maybe 3 minutes. And it's just like their interactions, like the one brother going to asking the other brother, says, "Hey, Al." I don't remember her name. He says, "Hey, Al." And the guy can't hear him. He's like, "What?" He said, "Hey, Al, do you still own that Chevy Impala?" And he says, "I never owned a Chevy Impala." And his brother goes, I was like, "I thought you did." He's like, "No, I never did." He said, "I owned a Buick." He's like, "Oh, yeah, that's what it was, a Buick. Yeah." He says, "Those things last forever. Run forever. They never die." He says, "What happened to it?" He says, "It quit running." Brilliant! I was like, again, example of great dialogue, and it's just all one shot. And it's really works. So, like, just watching the interaction, like, people around him is pretty funny. Just the God, it's really and like he does a lot of this. He does that in a lot of movies. He lets a shot linger for a while, and that really works. And it's pretty cool. And it's not quick cut, like a lot of directors do nowadays, and that's fucking awesome. It really works in this kind of film. A lot of praise towards Alexander Payne. Definitely should go out there for his directing job in this film, and the dialogue, everything. I definitely highly recommend this movie. If you had the choice of the two, I guess I would say Nebraska more than, like I said, Dallas Buyers Club. But if you can go see both movies, I would recommend going to see both movies. They're pretty much better than anything that's out right now. Fuck, the only movie that came out this week was the I, Frankenstein, which I was not going to go see. That looked bad. Speaking of trailers, okay, this was a weird arrangement of trailers. I got the same trailers for both movies, literally, and it was a weird assortment of trailers because apparently they just thought, well, let's just throw the most random trailers we could in front of these movies. Like, I got the Grand Budapest Hotel trailer, which I got before, which is a new Wes Anderson movie. And I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for saying this, and I know I am from some people that will watch this video, but I don't get the Wes Anderson stuff. I don't. I wish I'd really... I will say this, I liked Royal Tenenbaums a lot. Other than that, I just don't get his style of comedy. I still don't. I don't understand why so much praise has been given to him. I just don't get it. I think it's... And I will say this, I don't hate his style of comedy or whatever. I just it's okay. His movies usually are just okay. Other than Royal Tenenbaums, that's it. I'm not a huge fan of Wes Anderson. I don't. In this movie, it looks just like another fucking Wes Anderson movie. It has the same bland comedy style that you get from him. Like, it's just very dry and just I don't get what's so great about people giving him praise. I don't think it's that great. Like, I've heard people say that The Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou, or whatever the hell you want to say, it was so great. I don't remember that. I barely remember that movie. I was so bored to death by it. Again, I don't get it. And then I got 22 Jump Street. Now, I really like 21 Jump Street a lot. Really, really did. I thought it was a really funny movie, and it was a big surprise for a lot of people. I knew it was going to be funny, and a lot of people, I know a lot of people didn't going in, but I knew it was going to be funny, and it ended up being really funny. I really enjoyed that fucking movie. But this movie, I don't know. It feels like it's just a basic retread of the original. It's just going to be the fucking original again, because there's a drug. They're going to college this time, and there's a drug on the campus, and they got to find out who the dealers are. Like, so this is just the first one? You couldn't just fucking come up with a different concept, really? It's like whatever. And then the dumbest joke in that fucking thing that kind of did make me kind of roll my eyes was because it's called 22 Jump Street, and so to explain why it's called 22 Jump Street, not 21 Jump Street, the chief explains that the Koreans took over that church, so they have to move across the street to 22 Jump Street. It's like, what the? I'm just sitting there, like, then he also makes a joke about how nobody really wanted a reboot of the 21 Jump Street, but you guys got lucky. That's obviously talking to, yeah, we get it, because nobody really wanted a reboot of 21 Jump Street. I like 21 Jump Street. I'm hoping it'll be good. It doesn't look that bad, but I was just sitting there like, I'll watch it, but maybe it'll be really good. I'm hoping it's gonna be really good as the last one. I don't know. But yeah, that was like, I got that Labor Day, and the other woman that, I think I've talked about that before. If I haven't, whatever. It just looks like another weird romantic comedy. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to talk about now. So I'll get off here. I'll be back next week with maybe a Lone Survivor. And our August Osage County, which is also at my theater. So I don't know how long that's going to be around. So I might get around to checking that out before it leaves my theater. Also, Anchorman 2, a review for Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, will be coming up in the next week or so. Because it did finally come to my cheap theater, so I will go see it. So expect one of those. Either expect a Anchorman 2 review in the next few days, or if I don't do one, expect my next review to be on next Friday. So I will talk to you guys later.